Al-Fatiha. Amin. Okay, everyone. There are only 26 of us, but I will start anyway. The session will be recorded, so I'll share the recording, inshallah, with the rest of you. So if you can turn on your camera, please do so. If you can't, that's fine. Okay, let me just share my my file here. All right, can you see my screen now?
Yes, madam, boleh. Yes, Dr.
Boleh. Okay, all right. So basically, this is the integrated case study framework that is available in Teams dalam class material folder tu. I've also shared the file yesterday in our WhatsApp group. Okay, so if you look down here, there are several sheets. Okay, the first one is called the framework. So this is where you see so basically there are two components. Number one is this, the mapping, the map. And the second one is really the template. I will call it case dissection template. Okay. So kat sini you nampak dah ada for case 1, part 1, part 2. Actually they are the same. Tapi sajalah saya buat, you know, so that you are aware that you need to use the template for both parts 1 and 2. And then for your written assignment later, and then for your sulam as well. So sulam will be slightly different because you will have to develop your interview questions. So that's why you have interview instruments here. Okay, so that's fine. I will talk more about sulam later during the sulam briefing session. So now let's focus on the framework. So basically, what you can see here is actually the steps involved when you analyze a case. So you start with case discovery here. So this is case discovery is actually your part 1 lah, basically. Okay, so we will, you will analyze the environment, the external business environment, as well as the internal business environment. So this is actually really what you're covering for part 1. But of course, I also want you to start picking up or start identifying what could be the issues, that may be facing the company from just your own specific analysis. So if you're doing SWOT analysis, what can you tell from the SWOT analysis? What issues have you already seen, even only based on SWOT analysis? Of course, you haven't got the complete picture yet, okay, until you listen to the presentations of your other classmates, right? But for part 1, just concentrate on your analysis. If you're doing PESTEL, so after you have done PESTEL analysis, what can you tell, in terms of the issues? What do you think are the issues facing the company from PESTEL alone? We are doing Porter's 5 forces, so confine your issues to Porter's 5 forces. And if you remember, I said in my clarification note, I say that limit the issues to 3. Okay, now I don't say you must have 3 issues. I say limit to 3. What does that mean is that if you have more than 3, maybe you find Porter 5 forces, for example, so each force you think that there is an issue, so you have 5 at least. But I want you to just limit to 3. Pick the top 3 that you think are the most crucial, the most important, the most urgent issues that need to be resolved. Okay? SWOT analysis, most probably you'll get the issues from weaknesses or the threats. But not every single weakness or not every single threat is an issue. Okay, so issues are, when you say issue, it means the issues need to be resolved. Okay, so it's problematic to the company. All right, so that is part 1. So later, and while you're doing part 1 as well, because you will start identifying the issues already. So when you identify the issues, the next thing you do is you have to map to the key syllabus or topics. So if you look at the template here, so you start with the issues. You can see my what you call my window, right? So you start with the issues. Let's say you have let's say you have 3 issues. So the first one is maybe leadership. Katakanlah, you have problem with employees' motivation. Employees are not happy, for example. This is not related to Dasra in whatsoever. This is just random sample or example I'm giving you. Let's say employees are not happy, not satisfied, staff turnover is very high. And remember, those are the symptoms. Upon further investigation, you think the reason or the root cause for those issues is ineffective leadership, for example. So maybe the CEO is, too autocratic, for example. So you find that the leadership is ineffective. So that's the issue. Okay, next is you've got to identify, so ineffective leadership falls under which topic, which syllabus. So you can refer to this as a guideline. So these are really what you have learned throughout your accounting academic journey, from diploma to degree. Or if you don't have diploma, so when you start degree, so basically these are all that you have learned. So you learn strategic management, and then costing and management accounting. Okay, so cost and revenue management for value creation is really your costing and management accounting. Of course, financial reporting. Okay, so you have under financial reporting, we also cover disclosure, right? Non-financial information disclosure, like integrated reporting, sustainability reporting. All right, and of course, corporate governance is another important subject that you have learned. So under corporate governance is really broad. So it includes, for example, the board governance, the role of the board directors. You also learn about auditors. So you have internal, external auditors. So these are all corporate governance mechanisms, right? Internal control, again, fall under corporate governance. So ethics and professionalism, part of governance can also fall under ethics. Financial reporting, if you talk about ESG, sustainability reporting, it is also related to ethics. Okay, because business, ethical business relates to sustainability and all. All right, and you also learn about taxation, so the tax policy implications. And finally, you also learn about financial management, like corporate finance, okay, financial market, etc., etc. So for leadership, let's say your issue is leadership. So what topic do you think this one falls under? Most likely it will fall under strategic management, or maybe also management accounting, because I know that you learn about motivation theory, leadership theories under management accounting as well, right? So you can put that maybe strategic management, or you can make it even more specific, like leadership theory, for example, or leadership style. Okay, no problem. So maybe you can be flexible with how you write this. Okay, jangan rasa that, remember, there's no right or wrong. Let's say strategic management and management accounting, for example, because you also learn this in the seminar in management accounting, right? Contoh lah. So no problem. Okay, now let's say the second issue is you have something to do with you have limited capital, but you have really good, you think you have a good investment opportunity. For example, you want to diversify. You want to start, set a new branch, for example. So that one maybe fall under what issue is it, whether or not, or just put it capital investment decision or dilemma. Okay, let's say that's an issue. Okay, so for this one, this one will fall under financial management or corporate finance. Or if you want to be more specific, you can put capital investment appraisal, because you learn this, right? Capital investment appraisal in corporate finance contohnya. Ataupun you can say financial management, doesn't matter. Okay, alright. So let's say ada 2 isu ni sajalah katakan. Okay, now let's the next thing that you have to do is kalau kita tengok dekat framework ni is case evaluation. This is where, this is your part 2 lah, basically, bila you identify key issues, and then you gather more information, and then you carry out analysis, identify potential solutions. So this is the next one. So assuming you already have identified the issues, when you want to carry out analysis here, so this is where you need to identify what would be the relevant supporting analysis. So if here, katakan leadership, so this template really helps you in getting to the recommendations. So we don't want you to just, identify the issues and then jump to recommendations. We want to know what happened in between. How did you get to the recommendation? So that's basically what this template is all about. It guides you to get to the appropriate solutions lah, or recommendations. So let's say for supporting analysis, what do you think can be the supporting analysis here? Maybe leadership theory. Okay, katakanlah. Tak sebenarnya betul, you can always argue with me, no problem. So, of course, you learn several leadership theories, then you decide which one do you want to use. Okay, how do you use theory as a supporting analysis? For example, the theories have got, each theory ada dia punya advantages and disadvantages, ada assumptions, dia ada weakness and strengths, right? Weaknesses and strengths. So maybe you can use that as a basis to support your recommendation. And then you recommend that maybe the CEO needs to change the leadership style based on this particular theory. The theory seems to suit the environment of the company, the culture, etc., etc. And the theory suggests that, what will work best for this setting or this context is this particular leadership style. For example, okay, so you are the basis for your recommendations. So you write down here. Now, untuk analysis ni, you tak payah tunjuk detail. You just indicate what type of analysis that you use. So further details about how you do the analysis, you report in your presentation. Okay, let's say capital investment. So what kind of supporting analysis that you will use? You learn a lot of techniques, right? So you have discounted cash flow technique, you have non-discounted cash flow technique. Let's say you want to use all, no problem. Supporting analysis does not mean that you have to choose one. You can use a combination of more, multiple analysis. For example, you kata you nak pakai NPV, discounted cash flow method, and then you also want to use ROI, return on investment, together with NPV. On top of that, you also want to use, let's say, you kata you nak pakai payback period as the first screening method, contohnya. This is non-discounted technique. And finally, you want to also consider qualitative factors. So you have a combination of, how many? 4 analyses here. So your recommendations will be really strongly supported with your analysis. Okay, let's say for the quantitative payback period, NPV, ROI, all you get, like the analysis suggests that you should proceed with the project. However, when you consider the qualitative factors, then you may change your decision. So then you show your recommendations. Just brief one, because detail go in your presentation. This template is not meant to show the detail of your analysis and recommendations. It's just the key notes. Okay? Now, what if you cannot find any supporting analysis? Sometimes it's very difficult. Yes, I agree, some issues. So you can use, for example, these are other analysis you can use, real world example. So contohnya, last 2 semesters, we actually analyzed Snack Wheel, food delivery company. So for some of the issues, my students actually what they call justify their recommendations using real world example. For example, they say, GrabFood has done this, Food Panda has done this, and it shows that, that strategy works well for this company. So we believe that it may work well for Snack Wheel as well. So this is an example how you can use real world examples. So in order to do this, of course, you need to do extra reading and extra research. Can you follow so far? Boleh? I remember one semester a few years ago, this group of students, they presented really, really well. I really like the presentation. And one of the issues is they use Toys R Us case, because Toys R Us went bankrupt. So they relate the issues with Toys R Us, and they were saying that if the top management of the companies do not take action immediately, they are exposed to bankruptcy risk just like what happened to Toys R Us, and they shared briefly about Toys R Us and what happened, and we can relate because, you know, the context is very similar. So I think that's really powerful. Okay, kalau tak ada juga real world example, sometimes you can use common sense. This is acceptable in certain cases where, you know, the issue is just something like, you know, well, it's very difficult for me to give example, but you will know when you when you encounter these issues, you know that, you know, you don't really need any specific analysis or theory, or, you know, it's just something that's what we will recommend, is based on common sense. So that is also acceptable, tapi janganlah semua common sense. Tak boleh. So you kena tengok jenis isunya lah. Okay? Alright. Is there any question? I promise it's going to be a very quick one, right? Ada soalan tak? Tak ada. Everything clear? Okay. Sure, eh? So I want you to submit the template as well. So tak payahlah submit the entire file Excel. So you know, just that particular sheet, the template, with your information already inserted lah in the template for your issues, you know, topics, analysis, recommendation, and then convert that into PDF and combine with your slides. So when you submit, you just submit one file, the slides together with the template. Is that clear?
Ya, Doktor.
Clear, tak ada soalan, eh? Okay, so kat sini saya dah letak juga, kalau you perasan, case 141, so ada group members. So you can also, you know, you can indicate the group members as well as the area that you're doing lah. You boleh tambah lah kat sini. Kalau, I think it would be helpful. So no problem. You can modify the template lah. Okay? Alright. Kalau tak ada soalan, I think we'll end the session with Surah Al-As and Tasbih Kafarah. Okay, everybody, thank you so much. Ada tak group yang nak jumpa saya sekejap lagi hari ni for consultation? Saya lupa, saya rasa ada 2 groups.
Ada, Doktor.
Okay, nanti share link dengan saya, ya?
Alright, Doktor.
Pukul 11, right?
Betul.
Okay, the other group, so both group will join.
Yes.
Okay, so just one link and then you share with your share dalam group tu pun tak apa, WhatsApp group kan, untuk consultation tu. So both group can join. Okay, thank you so much everyone. I'll see you for the 2 groups. I'll see you shortly. Yang lain tu saya akan jumpa lepas raya lah kot, insyaAllah, unless you need to see me for consultation. Alright, so take care everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Doktor.
Alright.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Doktor.